The Blues leave Anfield with a hard-earned point after going down to 10 men. Watch until the end of this review to hear all of my thoughts on yesterday's match. Hello people, welcome to my channel, welcome to another video. This is my review of the match that took place yesterday evening at Anfield in the Premier League between Liverpool and Chelsea, which ended in a 1-1 draw. So what I'm going to do for you guys in terms of this review is that firstly, I'll be giving you guys the lineup that Thomas Tuchel fielded at the start of yesterday's match against Liverpool. I'll then be giving you guys my thoughts on the match itself, and as always guys, I'll be breaking it down into my thoughts on the first half and then the second half. And as always, I'll be giving you guys the positives and the negatives that I took from the match. And lastly, I'll be doing something a little bit different. I'll be giving you guys my thoughts on how Chelsea have done so far ahead of the upcoming international break. So without further ado, let's get straight into this review. Let's do it. So to get this review going, I'm going to give you guys the lineup that Thomas Tuchel fielded at the start of yesterday's match against Liverpool. And as always, I'm going to start off by giving you guys the formation he chose. So in terms of the formation that Thomas Tuchel chose, he went with a 3-4-3, and it was expected. Let's be honest here, it was expected. But in terms of the personnel that he chose to field at the start of yesterday's match, he went with Edouard Mendy in goal. He went with a back three of Cesar Azpilicueta, Andreas Christensen and Antonio Rudiger. He went with a midfield four, including the two wing backs from right to left of Reece James, Jorginho, N'Golo Kante and Marcos Alonso. And he went with a front three from right to left of Mason Mount, Romelu Lukaku and Kai Havertz. So that is the lineup that Thomas Tuchel chose. That is the lineup that Thomas Tuchel chose to field at the start of yesterday's match against Liverpool. Now we get into my thoughts on the match, and as always, I'm going to start off by giving you guys my thoughts on the first half. And I have to be honest, we were fairly sloppy in the opening stages of the match. We were giving the ball away quite cheaply, especially in the middle of the park, and Liverpool were putting us under immense pressure. Let's be real, they were putting us under a lot of pressure in the early stages of the match, but I felt as though we weathered the storm, and in the 22nd minute we got the goal, in which you can argue that we did deserve, because we did put some good passages of play together in the period of time that came before we scored the goal. But in terms of the goal itself, great cross from Reece James. It came from a corner from our left-hand side. Great cross from Reece James, I'll say it again. And Kai Havertz with a deft header. I have to say that he knew exactly what he was doing with the header. But yes, a great glancing header that looped over the head of Alisson and went straight into the bottom corner. Great header, I'll say it again. And you can argue that we deserved it. But yes, we went into the lead at that point, and afterwards, I have to say that we did have more opportunities to get in on goal, but just some bad decision making in the final third cost us. I'm not going to lie to you guys, for the majority of the first half, I felt as though it was pretty even, and I'm going to paraphrase and go straight into the penalty that was conceded by Reece James. The ball came into the box from Liverpool's left-hand side. It came from a corner, and it was Pinball Wizards in the box. A shot came in. I think it was Diogo Jota who put the ball, who hit the ball. But Reece James saw the ball come off his thigh, and then it hit his arm. but he did move his arm towards the ball. The penalty was the correct decision. There's a bit of controversy surrounding people's opinions on Reece James getting sent off, and I can see why. Because you can definitely argue that it's not a red because there was no intent, or you can argue that there's no intent, shall I say. But you can also argue that it's the correct decision to send him off because he was on the line, and the shot was going in. But the penalty was given. Correct decision in my opinion. And Mo Salah stepped up and scored it. And I have to say that it was a great penalty. Edouard Mendy did dive the wrong way. But I did feel as though Liverpool did deserve to score. But overall, I have to say that we were in the game in the first half. And we probably should have done better in the final third. And we probably should have done better in the middle of the park as well. Because I did feel as though we gave the ball away quite cheaply, not only in the early stages of the first half, but in little spells in the first half later on as well. But yes, overall, I thought we were actually pretty good. But now for my thoughts on the second half. Honestly, Thomas Tuchel did bring off Kai Havertz, and he ended up bringing off who else did he bring off? I can't even remember now. My memory's that bad. But he made some changes, and we switched to a 3-5-2 or a 3-5-1 because of course we had Reece James sent off, which saw Cesar Azpilicueta shift to right wing back and saw Mason Mount drop into the engine room. And I have to say that Liverpool did put us under even more pressure in the second half. But we were just as good from a defensive point of view. We really did do a job on them. And we did have counter-attacking opportunities of our own. But Liverpool did start taking shots from outside the box. Van Dijk had a shot from outside the box. Henderson had a shot from outside the box. And I have to say that had me in... I was highly strung when I saw that because it was very close. Edouard Mendy was rooted to the spot. But yes, we did have some counter-attacking opportunities of our own. But again, it was just the final pass. But we were really good defensively. And we held out. We could have scored. Liverpool didn't really have too many clear-cut chances in the second half. Despite what the stats tell you, they had way more shots than we did. But let's face it, that's because we had 10 men. But honestly, guys, we were absolutely great in terms of holding them out. I do believe that Thomas Tuchel could have brought on Timo Werner to maybe add some extra pace, but I'm not complaining. We got the draw, but I'm just going to leave it as that. Overall, I thought we were absolutely brilliant. We were thoroughly deserving of the point in which we got. And on another day, you can argue that we could have won the game with the counter-attacking opportunities that we had. But I'm happy with a point, and I got my score prediction correct. And I'll say this: if you cannot win a game, do not lose it. And that's exactly what Chelsea did. And that's exactly what Chelsea did to a T. Great performance, very good performance in my opinion. A performance of champions. And yes, I said it in this early stage of the Premier League season. But yes, we get into the positives and the negatives that I took from yesterday's match. Starting off with the positives, of course, I've taken 2 positives from yesterday's match, which is not normal after a draw. But honestly, guys, we were really good yesterday, and I've had to take 2 positives from yesterday's match. But yes, the first positive that I've taken from yesterday's match is the obvious one. It's that we were really good defensively, honestly, guys. That was a very, 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 very good defensive performance from us, and I'm just going to leave it as that and move on to the second positive that I took from yesterday's match. And the second positive that I took from yesterday's match is the fact that we were still able to create counter-attacking opportunities despite having to move players into deeper positions and having to bring on defensive players to compensate for the fact that Reece James got sent off in the dying embers of the first half. and you have to applaud the Chelsea team for that. But the negative that I took from yesterday's match is the fact that we weren't able to make the most of the counter-attacking opportunities that we had in the second half. And I'll say it again, it just came down to that final pass in the attacking third. Honestly, guys, I do believe that had we had 11 men, we would have been able to do more, because we would have been able to see, we would have seen more overlapping, we would have seen more link-up play. I'm not going to lie to you guys, Romelu Lukaku was very isolated in that second half, and he wasn't able to feed the ball to some of our other players in the second half. That is also due to the fact that the likes of Mason Mount had to drop deeper to pack out the midfield, and also the fact that Kai Havertz did have to go off. But we were seeing the wing backs bombing forward, but it wasn't. It was the wing backs bombing. Sorry, the wing backs bombing forward was very sporadic. But yes, we weren't able to make the most of our counter-attacking opportunities in the second half. But those are the positives and the negatives that I took from yesterday's match, guys. I'm stuttering, I'm sorry. But yes, that is it for my thoughts on yesterday's match. Please, guys, do drop your thoughts on yesterday's 1-1 draw with Liverpool in the comment section below. And as always, I shall do my very best to respond. Now, we end this review by talking about my thoughts on how Chelsea have done ahead of the upcoming international break. I have to say that we have done incredibly well. Us and Liverpool sit in more or less the exact same position. We're only above them on alphabetical order. We've both scored 5 goals. No, not 5, sorry. We've both scored 6 goals, and we've both conceded only 1 goal. Only West Ham have done better than us. Manchester City do sit directly below us. The only reason why they sit, the only reason as to why they sit directly below us is because they of course lost to Spurs on the opening day. But yes, in my opinion, it's been an incredible start to the season. It could not have gone any better when you include the circumstances that have gone out of our favour. So I'm extremely happy with the boys so far. After the international break, we will be taking on Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge, and I'm going to try and go to that game. I'm very much looking forward to it. But yes, I'm just going to leave it as that. Sorry, leave it at that, sorry. I need some water. Let me sip some water. But yes, I'm just gonna leave it at that. That is it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please do like, comment, and please do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And I'll see you all very soon for some more videos. Come on, you Blues. Come on, Thomas Tuchel. And peace.